Is day 3 in our 5-day challenge. We are talking about 5 really core daily habits that if you were to apply these every day for the next year, at the end of the year, you will find that your life has transformed, has changed for the better. It just will. These are small daily steps that compound and lead to transformation in ways that you wouldn't even expect. It's so crazy. So we had our first 2 days. First challenge was make your bed. Second challenge was drink an adequate amount of water for your health goals. So give me a thumbs up if you are doing that and have been doing that for the last couple days now. Today we're going to talk about how to start our day. Now, there are a whole lot of elements to starting a day. I like to say that we have an AM routine, but that would be a whole training and multi-day challenge in and of itself to create the AM routine that I recommend and that I personally follow. And that's actually something that I cover in depth in my program, my group coaching program. We have a whole section where we focus just on morning routines. So I'm not going to go all the way into that. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can check out the group coaching portion of Arise. And you'll see the 12-week program that is combined with group coaching has that. Okay. So I'm not going into depth on that. But I am going to share with you one really key element of a morning routine that is, for me personally, absolutely essential, okay? And it is spending even just a few minutes every day in the morning, first thing, centering yourself. Now, what this means and what this looks like can vary person to person. For me personally, it looks like reading a little bit in my Bible and then spending some time in quiet meditation and prayer. Now, I combine meditation and prayer because praying is also a form of meditation. It is. And basically, I pray by speaking to God, but also listening. Quieting and listening and centering myself in that way, centering on what for me is the focus of my life, which is the Lord, is the center of my life. And so spending the morning, spending even just a couple minutes, this doesn't have to take a long time. It can take, 2, 3, 5 minutes. Or if you want it to take longer, it can take longer. I prefer to have it take longer for me. I like spending more like 20 to 30 minutes. But also sometimes that just doesn't work. Right? Sometimes we need to be moving a little faster. But spending some time centering yourself. Again, this can look different for everybody. For me, it looks like a devotional time, spending time listening to the Lord, sharing what's on my heart with Him, and quieting myself and listening and receiving what He wants to tell me. So many times when we're having devotions and prayer time, we talk to God, but we don't take the time to actually listen and hear what He has to say. And He's sitting there like listening to us and has responses for us, but we skip that part. So taking the time to listen as well is what it looks like for me personally. For others, it may look like doing some exercises. It may look like just sitting quietly and drinking a cup of coffee and not really even thinking about anything, just kind of zoning for a minute. It could look like listening to some worship music. It could look like a lot of different things. You get to decide. There's no one size fits all of what that centering time in the morning looks like for you. But the core principle behind it and the core result of it would be that you are investing in your spirit. Okay, you're doing something that fills your cup, because in our day-to-day lives, we're constantly pouring out, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're a mom, right? We're constantly pouring out into others. But even if you're male, even if you're childless, even if you Honestly, it doesn't matter like what your life circumstance is. You are always pouring into others, right? With your job, with your relationships, with everything, you're pouring into others. But you can't pour from an empty cup. So the purpose of kind of taking some time in the morning to center ourselves is really to fill our cup. So what fills your cup? Is it going for a walk in nature? Is it doing some stretches? Is it having some devotional time? Is it listening to worship music? Is it taking the time to put on some makeup and do affirmations? Is it a combination of all those things? What fills your cup? Intentionally dedicate at least 5 minutes a day. If you can dedicate a whole 30 minutes, that's great. But even just 5 minutes a day to doing something in the morning. But that's another key thing, is doing it first thing in the morning. Like the first thing you do when you get up, well, most of us probably go pee, but after that, right, you get up, you relieve yourself, and then you do something that fills your cup. What that does is it gives you the energy, it gives you the resources to be able to go about your day in a much better fashion. Okay? So what I'd love to hear from you guys, please share what it is. What is the thing that you're going to do, right? I've shared for me personally that it's, I spend time in the Word. I spend time with the Lord in the mornings, and that varies from 10 to 30 minutes depending on the day. But that's my consistent thing that I do first thing in the morning before I do anything else. So what is it that you're going to do? Are you going to be going for a walk? Are you going to be meditating? Are you going to be exercising? Are you going to be just sitting quietly and enjoying a cup of coffee before your kids wake up? Right? What is it that you're going to do? And again, it can only be 5 minutes. That's fine. But just 5 minutes or more if you want, but a minimum of 5 minutes of something that helps center you. And what it does, what it will do for your spirit, right, is you walk away from it feeling somewhat refreshed. It might not be 100% refreshing, right? If you're going through a rough time in your life, it might not be like, oh, I feel 100% refreshed and wonderful and ready to take on the day. It might just be okay, I got what I needed to do the next thing. That's okay. That's part of it, okay? But it helps kind of keep you grounded, keep you centered, keep you focused, and help you fill your cup. It renews your spirit, even if it's just a little bit. Okay? So that is the third daily habit. Okay? Again, this is a habit that everybody who's successful does this to some degree. Like if you engage in the personal development world at all, if you start looking at people who are successful and who are honest about what they do with their time and their lives, you'll see that this is a common denominator, that they spend time in the morning filling up their cups so that they have something to pour out to other people. Okay? So give me a party emoji if you're going to take this challenge and going to be applying it this week. I'd love to know what you're going to do. What is it? What is your activity that centers you? What is it? And again, this is a no judgment. This is like what works for you. There's no one size fits all activity for centering. It's what works for you. So what is it that works for you? I'd love to know, because it's always fun to get new ideas, and your idea might help someone else figure out what works for them. So let's share and have a wonderful day, friends. I will see you tomorrow for our fourth habit, and see you all later.